Yo, check it out. Thank you for tuning in to the Skol State of Mind podcast. I'm your host, D Woods. Now, I got a hot topic that some of y'all might not like, but I'm going to get into it. Now, if you read the title, you already know. Is Antonio Pierce the next head coach to be fired this year? Me personally, I believe so. And I'm going to break it down to y'all why I feel this way. Now, initially, when Antonio Pierce got the job for the Las Vegas Raiders, I was probably one of the few people that wasn't really like, okay, yeah, it's cool, whatever. I wasn't really enthused about the whole situation. Y'all know I'm a Viking fan, so I really don't care. But my dad's a big Raider fan, so we talk about the Raiders every now and then. So I wasn't too like ecstatic about it. Like it didn't move the needle for me with Antonio Pierce becoming the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Here's why. I got this theory, right? That I feel sometimes coaches need to wait for the right opportunity to come. And sometimes coaches are so enamored and so like hungry to get that first head coaching job. And that head coaching job kind of like messes up their whole career, right? They like kind of get that job too early, right? So when they're like not ready for it, that's what I'm trying to say, right? I kind of felt Antonio Pierce wasn't technically ready to be a head coach in a National Football League. Now, some of y'all might differ, but I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna break it down to you. Why? Y'all remember Raheem Morris? Raheem Morris got his first head coaching job with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It took him over 10 years to get another head coaching job, and now he's in Atlanta, right? I'm not saying that he didn't deserve that job in Tampa Bay when he took over for Gruden, but they threw him in there. He was a young name, hot shot, coordinator, whatever. And as soon as the team faltered, they got rid of him and moved on. Right. So let's get back to Antonio Pierce. So while I'm saying Antonio Pierce wasn't really ready for this head coaching job, this Raider team is a fucking disaster right now. Like Devontae Adams don't want to be there. Max Crosby don't want to be there. They don't have no quarterback. And I understand a lot of that is the front office, but when you're a head coach in this league, you have to put your foot down and demand certain things that you want in the upcoming season. Now, it wasn't like Antonio Pierce was just brought in here, off the streets. He was basically the interim coach from last year. He was the defensive coordinator from last year. So he kind of knew what this team needed for this upcoming season. And their biggest need was quarterback. So I don't really understand why you would start the season and not have a reliable quarterback on the roster. They basically focused on Gardner Minshew. Yeah, we can kind of say things happened in the background. They wanted Jaden Daniels in the draft, but if you wanted Jaden Daniels in the draft, you shouldn't have moved heaven and earth to go get Jaden Daniels because he wasn't going to fall to you guys. He went number 2. Now, they had more time to go and get a real quarterback for this team, and they didn't. And I feel like that's a fault to Antonio Pierce and the front office, the organization as a whole, right? So I just look at it like this, though. Like, you bring Gardner Minshew in here, you have him compete with Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell, he's not the quarterback of the future, but you got Devontae Adams on this roster. You let, Jacobs walk, and your running game is suffering. Like, some of these things are going to fall on Antonio Pierce because I feel like he shouldn't have went into the situation when they brought him the opportunity to become the head coach. And let's back it up a little bit. They interviewed multiple candidates for this head coaching job, and even though Antonio Pierce did a a cool job at the end of the season as the interim, they still made him interview for the position. Think about that for a second. They still made him interview for the position that he was already doing because they didn't really believe in him as the head coach. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes these coordinators, they get these jobs too early and they just want to put it on their resume. But I believe Antonio Pierce might be the next head coach to be fired. Now let's just get back to what I was breaking down to you, right? So they get rid of, I wouldn't say get rid of, they decide not to re-sign Josh Jacobs. He goes to, Green Bay, whatever. Their leading rusher right now is Zamir Wright. Like, he can't get it done. Like, the whole narrative about, running backs are disposable. You can put any running back in any position, any offense. They're going to, do good. Well, Zamir Wright is not doing good. Like, Alexander Madison is not doing good over there. Amir Abdullah is not doing good over there. I mean, that's just their running back. You neglected the position, and now you can't run the ball, right? So that's just the running back. So now Devontae Adams is still one of the best receivers in this league. He doesn't even lead his team in receiving right now. Yes, he missed one game. Okay. But their leading receiver is their tight end, Brock Bowers, right? Gardner Minshew has only 1,000 yards passing this season. That's pathetic. Like, that's pathetic. And you know what thing that really bothers me, like the most with this Raiders team, is they went out and they signed, Christian Wilkins with all that money, and now this team is basically in shambles again. Like, I just don't understand it. And I feel like all this is going to fall on Antonio Pierce because before he signed on a dotted line to become the head coach, he should have mapped out a plan with the front office to say, what are we going to do this offseason to solidify our quarterback position? Like, what are we going to do? Sam Darnold was out there. Joe Flacco was out there. A lot of names was out there. They didn't even look in that direction. Like, it's like they had no plan. So I'm not going to be surprised if Antonio Pierce is the next coach to be fired. Now, y'all can comment on this video. Y'all can, give me some feedback, but let me know what y'all think. I'm out.